local, and fun. MilfordRadio.com.
Hey, all you cool cat and kittens. Thanks for joining us here at Milford Radio. We haven't broadcast in, I think it's been over 6 years. Heise is still muted.
Yeah, a little MIA there.
Yeah. There he is.
Hey.
Well, what's up? And he's
intro music.
Yeah. Did you hear the intro music?
I heard Cool Cats and Kittens.
There
I heard
you go.
Milford
Hey, Cool
Radio
Cats.
Live. I didn't hear my the video.
Oh, not yet. You want to play that?
Let's go. Let's get
All
that.
right, here we go. Here's a little video for everybody just to kick it off. This is about one of our topics that we're handling right now, which is
with so much drama in the CDC, it's kind of hard being B-O-R-E-D. But I, somehow, some way, keep coming up with random ass shit just to get me through the day. May I post a little something on IG and make a few friends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and my Xbox still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I just chill in the room till they say that it's gone, and I ain't sleeping till 6 in the morning. So what you trying to do? Shit, I got a pocket full of gloves and my homeboys do too. So put on your shoes, open the door. But what? We on lockdown though? Yeah, we staying in the house for this. Feet up, keys down while you motherfuckers bounce to this. We on quarantine, staying indoors. We ain't got shit to do. Lay back.
I don't like 2020, 2020, I don't lie.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, Mark.
Hey.
hey. So we're finally back. That's a little hot. We'll get to all that COVID conversation soon. But guys, we started this. We were just talking about the stats before we went live. We started this just about 10 years ago. It was 2010 when we started this show. And then our last broadcast was in 2014. So we haven't done this show in 6 years. Hi, Zeke. Do you guys remember? Oh, first of all, let me introduce everybody. I'm Mark Kaminsky, co-host with Chris Heise and Dan Zeke. Boys, how you doing?
What's up, Milford?
Hey, what's going on? It's good to be back.
So last time we did this, we didn't have AirPods. We didn't have all this technology. We didn't have video. What did we do? How did we communicate with the people?
I didn't have the 50 pounds on me either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that happened.
We needed dial-up. That was one thing for the communication.
Yeah, we were at Cafe Atlantique every week, and this is no joke. We ran a phone line from the basement in Tina's little telephone area. We ran it up the stairs, and if someone wanted to,
Tina's on right now.
Is she?
I see Tina. Oh yeah, he's making
Awesome.
some comments.
Oh,
running
now
the
I see
phone
some
cord
comments.
down to the basement.
Awesome. So look, here's another thing. I want you guys to understand that all of your comments, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, like here you go. Here's an example. I could put it right up on the screen. There's Tina that says, "Miss you guys." So we have the Mayor of Milford, Mr. Ben Blake. He is actually in the waiting room right now. We're going to get to him in just a moment. But if you have questions for Ben, you can post it on Facebook or on YouTube on our live stream. And if it's appropriate and it's worth it, and Ben doesn't get too angry, I can post it up there, and we could get additional questions for Ben or even for us. So one little stat. We used to use a software called Blog Talk Radio to run Milford Radio. And I was looking back at the stats, and in those years that we were actually running the show, we had 83,000 listeners. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was just my mom over and over again.
It's something to be proud of, guys. I mean, we interviewed Dan Patrick, all of the Milford leaders. This was even prior to Ben being the mayor. All the charitable leaders. We had Tommy John. We had Governor Malloy. We had John Ratzenberger. We've had. Oh, and during the Newtown crisis, we ran an event where, if you guys remember, we raised $12,000 in just a couple hours at that event that we had.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, did a lot of good. Got a lot of messages out there. I remember the bronze medalist too. I don't remember her name right now, but Olympic medalist there.
Erin Koch, or that was another one. We had her too.
Yeah, bobsled. I don't know.
Bobcat
Something like
Goldthwait.
Bobcat.
I'm trying to think of her name, but she's a TV personality for Fox News in Hartford.
Yeah, for Connecticut. Yeah. I'm going to post in here in the comments. If anyone wants to join the show, there's two ways that you can do it. You will actually, there's Sonia says, hi, Marky. Hi, Sonia. So I'm posting the link right now onto the streams on Facebook and on YouTube. You can click that link and you'll actually, if you want to be on this show, you're going to be part of the stream. You're going to look just like us. You can choose to keep your video off if you want to just use your voice, or you can be part of the show just like this. And we have this cool contraption. We can move around and look different. So
Brady Bunch got nothing on us.
No way,
man. We're gonna go to the Brady Bunch look like this when the Honorable comes in. Nice drink. So how are you guys holding up in quarantine? Heisa, let's start with you. You have 74 kids. You have a beautiful wife. You're living here in Milford. How is this crazy time in our life? How is that handling in Heisa's house?
Well, I'd say probably everyone's situation is a little bit different, but there's highs and lows. And first couple of weeks, I feel like we probably felt like we were rock stars and getting it all through. Like, this is nothing, no problem. We got this. Lately we've been hitting some breaking points with the kids. Kids like structure, and at time they like the bell. What are we doing next? What are we doing next? And when you're running a business from home, when your wife is working from home, lucky enough to be working, but it's tough because to take on the full-time job of educating your children, disciplining your children, and running your own practice and business and feeding them, watering them, bathing them, dressing them,
fertilizing.
Bathing's optional. Are your kids are they taking a shower every day?
We've gone to every other. We've gone to every other because they don't leave the house. They only leave the
Zeke,
house.
how many times a week are you showering, Zeke?
You know those stickers that say I voted? Now I have a sticker that says I showered. I put it on maybe once a week.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. So as I mentioned, I posted the link for getting onto the show. If you'd like to join us for any conversation, whether it's for the mayor, whether it's for us, or just to say hello, jump in. You could either do the link that I posted, or you could go to milfordradio.live and you could join us. So let's jump in to our first guest. I know it's early in the show, but we have a lot to get to, and I know the man of the hour has some information. Now we have our first guest of Milford Radio 2.0. He's the leader of this small city with a big heart. And we are now going to welcome in the Honorable Mr. Ben Blake. How are you, Ben?
Doing well. Is everybody staying healthy?
We're trying, man. How about yourself?
Pickleball clap.
Pickleball.
Yeah, I'm ready to open up those pickleball courts and get back to normal, but we are dealing with this now. We are hoping that I'll be invited back on to the show once we're able to talk about rainbows and unicorns and beaches and fun stuff, not just quarantine and social distancing and latex gloves and face masks.
Yeah, I hear you. So speaking of courts, Ben, we noticed that down behind the library, the basketball hoops are cut down. No one's allowed, the kids aren't allowed to go play basketball. City parks and fields are closed. What's your take on this as far as an outlook? I mean, I know you're not the final decision maker as far as the state or the country goes, but what is your feeling and what are your plans internally at City Hall about what's going on in Milford?
Well, Milford is no different than any of the other municipalities in the state of Connecticut. We are hunkering down. We are all trying to stay home, stay safe so that this is over sooner rather than later. We are all trying to do our part to make sure that the healthcare system stays intact. And all the time I'm advocating for more of a parochial setting to have each of the different towns and cities make their own decisions. But in this case, this is something where decisions from one town, one city, or even one state to the other affect the adjacent state or the adjacent town. So this is one of those where we need centralized decisions, because if Milford keeps our beaches open and our parks and our open spaces, available for people to recreate, to get some exercise so that their immune systems get boosted and they stay healthy, and West Haven closes down their beaches, it becomes a problem because we have more people streaming in from other places. So we have to make these decisions on a statewide basis. We are doing that to some degree. To some degree, we are fine-tuning it for Milford and making it more Milford-centric, but we do need cooperation and coordination with some of the adjoining municipalities.
Okay. What are your thoughts on, I see some people on social media that are going around town, taking pictures of potentially a group of people that are more than 4 people in that group. They might be social distancing, meaning 6 feet apart, maybe even more. What are your thoughts on other people utilizing potentially social media to out other people? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
First and foremost, this is so serious. This is something that all of us need to take with the utmost seriousness because it impacts all of us. It may not impact the individual as much as it impacts the community or the collective as a whole. We have to take this seriously, or else we're going to be in this for a longer period of time. I think those people that are not practicing social distancing, are not staying a physical distance of at least 6 feet apart, what this will mean is that the virus will continue, that it will push off the time when we reach the peak, and everything will stay closed for a longer period of time, and nobody wants that. In terms of whether or not the police are going to vigorously enforce, and if they see a child on a playground, they will not stuff and cuff them. We are trying to inform people, trying to get education and information to continue to get the best results and make sure that people are adhering to the executive orders from the governor, the local directives that we've set here in Milford, and making sure that everybody is doing everything they can to keep us all healthy.
Perfect. Do you have any intel?
Hey, Mark,
yes, sir.
You mentioned the basketball courts, though. So the one positive that's coming out of this is we do now have an opportunity to upgrade and enhance some of our recreational infrastructure. So we're taking advantage of the time where, places like the basketball court are closed down right now behind the library. We're upgrading it. We're doing work that we would have done sometime this year, things that we have budgeted for, but we're pushing it up into the time period while everything is closed down. So you'll see upgrades to the basketball courts, the parking lots at our beaches, and some of our parks. Actually, tomorrow we're starting to mill Eisenhower. Then on Friday, we're doing Walnut Beach. We just finished the binder coat at Gulf Beach. That will be done within the next weeks. So a lot of the different recreational and city facilities that we have, Fanny Beach, Margaret Egan Center, all of those places, both inside and out. For example, the McCann Natatorium at the Academy, we're redoing that pool. So there's a whole bunch of things that we're addressing right now because it's the right time to do it.
Yeah, that's
Kathy
smart.
Lake,
I think,
that's awesome.
the basketball courts, I know were, slated to be done this year anyway. I know a lot of people freaked out about the courts, the hoops coming down and fence being put around them, but I know that was ready to be done anyway this year. And I think it just goes to show, hey, let's take advantage, a little silver lining around what's going on, a little opportunity here. While everyone isn't able to use these facilities, let's try to upgrade and revamp and make them better for when we do return.
Absolutely.
Here's a big question, Ben. When is bulk pickup going to happen?
We've got
that's on everyone's minds.
Just about any other topic. COVID-19 is affecting all of us. We're trying to make sure we make the best decision from a health standpoint for our employees and really for residents. People use bulk trash pickup to, I don't know if recycling is the right term, but people go and scrap. Everybody's a little bit edgy. So we will make the decision within this week. You can hold me to that, whether we're going to delay bulk pickup a month or whether we're going to cancel it completely or whether we're going to modify it. So we have all three of those contingencies that we've already discussed with our Public Works Department, with our health director. We will make a final decision within the next week. You can hold me to that, definitely.
Zeker, do you have a question?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about, the restaurant industry, with all the shutdowns, people having to just have takeout and not have sit-in visitors or anything. Do you think there's a rush for, the Connecticut government to get back restaurants and restaurant employees? I know that there's a lot of, waiters, waitresses who, need to get back to work. Do you think that's a big priority, or do you think it's still kind of, wishy-washy on a decision?
I think that it's at the foremost of everybody's mind. We all want restaurants. We all want to be able to go to picnics and barbecues and all of that, but we want to do it safely. My guess is that within the next 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to see a gradual opening of a lot of the different things that have been closed, just like Connecticut went gradually in terms of the closure. We had gatherings of 250 people or fewer, then 50 people or fewer, then 5 people or fewer, to really no gatherings at all. Everybody has to be solitary other than the people that you share a house with. So I think that we're going to do that same thing on the way back as society opens up again. So we're probably within the month, we're going to have some businesses opening. You've seen that to some degree already. You saw that this past weekend, marinas were allowed to open, and then additional businesses. Hopefully the restaurant industry is going to open sooner rather than later too, because folks are really hurting. That's a huge sector of our economy. It's important for those people who work there. And I think from a mental health standpoint, a nutritional standpoint, and all the rest, everybody wants those restaurants open.
Yeah.
But we got
I'm really happy to see, even, everyone in Milford has been posting their takeout orders, and they've been promoting a lot of business. So that's kind of a good thing that comes out of this too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Ben, what does, from a state standpoint, from not even fatalities, but from a sickness standpoint, how does Milford rank across the state? Are we more susceptible? Have we had more sickness or less than maybe the average in Connecticut?
It's really done county by county, and you can see Fairfield County still has the most in terms of positive cases. New Haven County is right behind, however. So Milford is, it straddles New Haven and Fairfield counties. So we are really at the epicenter of where the state is in terms of positive cases. It crept its way from New York really into Fairfield County, then it's making its way up. New Haven County was next, and then if you look all the way up to Hartford County, they're a couple weeks behind us, just because that's the trend of this virus, that it's making its way up. We are, we do have a lot of long-term care facilities. The vast majority of the folks that have passed away have been associated with those 3 long-term care facilities that we have in Milford. So we are making sure that we, are coordinating with the Department of Public Health at the state level, as well as the CDC, to make sure that we are as healthy as possible.
So Ben, Megan, I have on the screen here, Megan from Facebook writes, is there any information on summer break related activities for kids? So I think that question kind of goes into, what is your take on schools? My guesstimation is we're not going back to school, because even if we did after May 20th, it's less than a month of school. What's the point? And then what is the summer looking like from a summer break standpoint, and your thoughts on that?
Well, I met today with Jim Riccitelli and the superintendent, Anna Kataya, about a whole host of things, including summer break. Again, we do not know at this point when society is going to be reopened, when the health experts are going to allow us to kind of get back to group settings, whether that's summer camps or whether that's summer school. I think that even a lot of the kids who never thought summer school would ever be in the cards this year may consider it a blessing. I know that a lot of parents would, but we want to make sure that we offer those educational opportunities so that there's not any more of a slip for our students than there already has been. Our teachers, our principals, our educators are doing a great job. But that transition from classroom education to home education is just, it's not the same. You know, I'm a parent of 3 little kids that are school age, and it is tough. It is a tough transition. We want our kids to be thriving, but there is something lost from the classroom to the home. There absolutely is. So,
oh yeah, not to break in here, Ben, but yeah, not education, great, but the social aspect and like the interaction between peers and being able to take instruction from another adult. And you know, we all have kids the same age, but kindergarten, first grade, third grade, to be on, I am very appreciative of all the efforts put forth as far as the Milford Public School system and the technology that makes things available. But you're right, it's not the same, and they are missing out here and there. So,
and the public schools, from a democratic or a democracy standpoint, there's no greater equalizer for any institution. And when we do not have public schools that are open, you know, when we're all working from our homes, there is absolute inequality. Some students, some kids have it a lot better than others working from home. And that's another issue that we're going to have to deal with over the summer and going into next year as well.
Yeah. You know what's tough? I mean, my wife is a teacher, obviously, so I get to see firsthand what happened to teachers and what happened to students, because obviously I have my 2 kids at home as well. And it's kind of funny because I was on some social media posts that I saw people saying, you know, well, the teachers aren't working hard enough. They're not getting the kids prepared. The way I look at it, and again, this is me looking at it firsthand because I physically have an eyeball on it at home, is the teachers, it was like a light switch, right? It was like all of a sudden, everyone's at school, everyone's doing their normal stuff, and then one day the state shuts down schools or the city or however it was, and now we have to figure out all this technology and figure out how to take care of the gym teacher and the gym class and the art class and the regular class. And it's what are your thoughts on the teacher side of things?
You know, teachers have it tough too because they have their normal routines. All of us have our normal routines that have been flipped upside down. I think a lot of the teachers that I've talked to that I know, they can't wait to get back to see their kids. You know, I come from a whole family of teachers. I'm the one black sheep in the family that doesn't spend every day in the classroom. My brother, sister, mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, everybody was an educator except for me. And so I hear it from them that everybody, you know, wants to get back to the classrooms. It's more difficult trying to invent lesson plans, pull them out of the ether, and trying to utilize the new technology than it is actually. It's not as rewarding as well. So,
right.
Yeah, and they have their own kids as well. They have their own families and kids that they're adjusting to as well.
Exactly.
So it's very hard to keep that in mind at times. It's not their only priority these days. You know.
Exactly. How about graduations? Any talk on that? I know you've met with the superintendent. I think there was one community, I don't know if it was Naugatuck or something, that said they're definitely going to do graduations whenever that may be. Has there been any discussion about that?
We did. Again, no definitive time or date or location. It's all dependent on whether we're allowed to have up to 1,000 people congregating all in one place, or 2,000 people. So it may be July, it may be August. We are going to have to take that one as we get more information. That's one of those decisions that has not been finalized because absent clairvoyance, we just don't know.
You know, as you're talking, Ben, one cool thing, we're going through and seeing all these comments, and there's nothing too bad about you, Ben. But it's about the conversation. And and the reason I bring that up is it's just a suggestion to be part of the conversation, you know, and you could do that through Facebook and through YouTube. We do have a caller in.
Oh, really?
Can one of you guess who it is? They can't see it. I'm like the producer of this show. They can't see who's sitting here.
It's not Ben's mom, right?
No.
Mr. Fiore.
Yes. How are you guys doing?
He's the most active on social media I've ever witnessed. It's great.
Oh, come on, Heiser. You're just saying that.
No,
Hi, Zeke.
I'm
Oh, you're on there. Hi, Mark.
Treasure.
What's
Gloria.
up, Mr. Fiore? Do you have a
Yes,
question
sir.
for Mr. Blake?
No, really no questions. I could see he's been spending his 36 hours a day and still being able to sleep. So hats off to him.
Thanks, Bob.
Anytime.
Well, hope everybody's staying healthy and Fiore.
All right. So I'm just reading through. This is a lot, man, to read through these comments and talk to the honorable.
And we were talking about when we first started back in 2010, and obviously you were mayor in 2010, but over the last 10 years, if you look back in this decade and the number of issues that maybe you or your office has had to handle, it's been pretty crazy. Wouldn't you say? I mean, it was no just kind of sit behind the desk and steer the ship, so to speak.
Things in my wildest dreams and nightmares as mayor, I never thought I would have to deal with. Things like Superstorm Sandy. I mean, the first 2 years that I was mayor, I had to cancel Halloween twice, 2 years in a row.
Halloween. Yeah.
Never thought I would do that. This year we canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade. Those are things that never do you dream of.
Yeah.
Where are you, Ben? What room are you in right now?
I am in the third
The
floor
bunker?
kids' playroom. The only area that I could escape without the other folks in the family getting at me.
I hear you. That's funny. So if you guys don't have any other questions for Ben, we could let him go. Maybe take care of his children and our wife.
I'm good.
Hope to
I'm
be
good, Ben. I
invited back
appreciate the time.
or in another week. Let us know when the next scheduled video is.
Well, let's do it on something that is more positive. Let's not do it on a virus that has shut down our country and world.
Once every 6 years, Mark. It's a plan.
Who will be mayor in 6 years, Ben?
That is a good question.
Ben, have a good night, man.
Cheers.
Cheers. Take care. All right, that was Mr. Ben Blake joining Milford Radio. What do you guys think? I mean, I always say most political jobs, whether it's mayor all the way up through any position, that's a tough job. Sometimes I wonder why Ben, even goes for it.
A lot of times it seems just lose. I mean, you're gonna always upset half the people, and it's tough. It doesn't seem very rewarding, but the people that do get involved for the right reasons, I think they make a positive impact on our society as a whole. And I think Ben is one of those examples.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to take into consideration, your whole population, what the, majority decision would be for the best of everybody. There's always going to be those few people here and there that don't agree. But I think if you look at, decisions a mayor or a governor has to make, for the most part, they're not personal driven decisions, but they're for the good of everybody.
So did you guys see that West Haven, I think it was today, West Haven just canceled their fireworks, the July 4th fireworks.
Yeah, they said they get about 120,000 people down at the beach for that event, and they're going to use the fundraising they got for this year to get a jump start on 2021.
Interesting. I mean, that's just a sign of what's coming up for us. I mean, we were talking. So I have kids obviously that are very active in sports, and I know Heiser, you do too. And this is tough. This is a lifestyle of. We were on the move 7 days a week, going to one kid's practice or another kid's practice, games, 3 games on a Saturday, 2 on a Sunday, and to halt it. And now I think UConn just released that their fall sports are canceled or going to be canceled. I think it was the athletic director. I may have missed, that was texted to me earlier today. So I'm pretty sure that's accurate, but that's kind of a sign of Like we keep asking Ben and all these other people, when are we going to get back to normal? But everything like months down the road is already getting canceled.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, I've definitely in the beginning, I've probably just been like, it's no big deal. We'll get through this. It's only going to be a few weeks and we'll be out. And every time I hear those going little tidbits of news, the realization kind of hits, and it's like, all right, well, we're in this for the long haul, no matter what. And if people are looking ahead to July, let alone, September, October of canceling fall sports for things, it's definitely something that we all have to adjust to. It's not going to be easy.
Zeke, do you call it the COVID or do you call it the Corona?
I kind of tend to call it the Corona, to tell you the truth. The Rona. Catching the Rona.
But it seems like we had a brief conversation about this. You brought this up. How the majority, like you run into someone and be like, hey, how you doing? And it's weird what people call it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are afraid to even approach it. I mean, they're afraid even to talk about it rather than calling it COVID or Corona. It seems like they're treating it, I don't know, kind of like a sitcom. They're calling it the situation or the world we're in. It seems to be more generalized that way rather than being more direct. But I think all the social distancing, the masks, the gloves, right now is more of obviously a temporary fix to the situation to kind of minimize numbers. I think overall, and I've been watching Governor Cuomo pretty much daily on Facebook. He does his live updates every single day. And, the one thing that keeps coming up is, people keep asking is, when do you think a vaccine is going to be available? The standard answer, I guess, is, 12 to 18 months to have a standard vaccine like the flu vaccine. So, I mean, it could be more than that. It could be less than that. But, the ultimate answer is to have, a vaccine, which could take a very long time. So, I mean, I know that, we're on lockdown until May 20th, at least now. But overall, the mask and gloves and preventative techniques, it could be going on for a very long time.
Hi, so what are your thoughts on the good stuff that's going to be coming of this, or
just
changes in general?
I was just going to get to that because we could always talk about like what's canceled and what we have to be careful of, which is all great information. We have to know how to protect ourselves and our loved ones. But even my wife and I were talking about like good things that have come of this, of being, I don't want to say trapped in the house, but more or less we're in lockdown. And, some of the good things that have come have been, just the time spent together, maybe new things that we've learned about each other and about our kids and how we interact with each other have been good things about, the quarantine and being, trapped together, which is, hey, wedding ring too. We're all trapped in some ways, but it's this has been a good way. Somewhat.
Yeah, I agree. One of the lines that I used, I want to say when this first started, I was in a store, one of the local grocery stores, and someone was kind of close to me, and I get congested, especially in the mornings, and I happen to be in the store in the morning, and I had to cough, but not like a cough, but I had to like one of those just to clear the throat, and I was like shitting my pants. I can't do this. So the line I said back in the day, I used to have to cough to hide my fart, but now I'll fart really loud to hide my cough, just so no one gets mad at me. I didn't do that in ShopRite, but the times have changed. And with that being said, I've seen a lot of things, positive things. I've been part of it, and I've seen it happen, meaning, more people delivering random acts of a delivery, a dinner to someone's house, or leaving a cup of coffee. We had one morning, we woke up, there was 2 cups of coffee on our doorstep. No idea who it was from. We had a couple of different gifts like that, and we've done it as well. Have you guys seen any of that? And do you think something like that, I'm hoping, will stay? We said that after 9/11 too, and things did change back to kind of, you're kind of, a douchey New Englander.
I mean, I'm still waiting for my dozen donuts and coffee at my door, Mark. But
I know. You're so far away.
Yeah, I know. Oh, North Milford.
Yeah, I'm 6'1" too.
It definitely has. I think it's awakened a lot of people, and I'm overwhelmed with the amount of, I think, actually good posts I see on Facebook lately, and with people sewing masks and the thank you signs and the balloons for our first responders and people that are on the front lines of things. I definitely have noticed, uptick in that, and I'd like to see it keep going. I know you brought up 9/11. There's definitely that overwhelming feeling of people just wanting to help in any way possible, and I think it's very similar in that regard. But yeah, I like to keep that going. I think it's what makes our community great. It's something that has been a positive that has come out of this, I believe.
Yeah, and the videos that you see, people going, dropping things off to hospitals, and people, the restaurants doing free pizzas for nurses and things like that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, in the sports world, I mean, a lot of athletes who make ridiculous amounts of money are, foregoing salaries. I think Derek Jeter even said today, like, he's going to forego his salary so he can pay, his employees down in Miami. A lot of athletes are donating millions of dollars to relief funds. And I think a lot of this is, I'm not going to say that it'll continue, but the generosity is there, and the people that can do it are doing it. So, and that's good to see also.
I don't know if either of you guys have seen this like Jeep parade thing that they're doing in Milford. I happen to be out and about on a Saturday. I want to say it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I was crossing the Post Road over near the old M&M Farms, and there must have been, I'm not exaggerating when I say there was over 100 Jeeps driving in a single file line with their hazard lights on, laying on their horns, and just driving down the Post Road. And it kind of gave me like a chill. Like, we stopped, I was taking pictures of it, and people had balloons on their Jeeps. And from what I hear, they're doing that either weekly or they're doing it more often. And I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's just good to see people come together. I think it gives people you're not locked in your house as much. Gives people a sense of community doing something all together like that without risking infecting anyone. So it's a nice thing.
Yeah, when you have a directive where you have to be away from people, or you have to be quarantined in your house, you lose that personal touch from people, and the fact that people can go out and see other people, and like celebrating birthdays or is a good example. I think that, it kind of brings a little bit of humanity back into the situation also.
Yeah, Jose on Facebook said he saw the Jeep Crusade as well. I'm guessing it's called the Crusade. What did I call it? A parade.
The parade of Jeeps.
Hi, Jose. So there's quite a few people. We have Brian in there, Jose, Megan, Patrick, Bobby.
The birthday drive-bys are also an awesome thing for kids.
Very cool.
Really can't fathom what's going on. They don't understand why their birthday is canceled, so to speak, or why their birthday they can't be at Chuck E. Cheese right now or jump off or whatever that they had planned or scheduled. It's very tough for them to comprehend. So not only are they losing their schedule of school, but also their things that they look forward to a couple months in advance. And to see the birthday drive-bys and people trying to acclimate to the world we live in now has been touching.
Birthday drive-bys are very different in different cities. Birthday drive-bys.
We're lucky enough to be not gun-toe in Milford. Yes, you're right.
So have you guys experienced anything in Milford as far as this? We're stuck at home. My family's been doing a ton of walks. Whether we're going to the beach, we're just walking our neighborhood, like around up. We're in the Orange Avenue district. But we've done some trails some trail walks. You know, Sarah downloaded some app where we're finding some cool areas. Have you done anything outside of the norm to maybe help someone find something to do?
Juice diet. I've done potato juice, wheat juice, corn juice,
Oh man,
rye juice, all different colors.
So you're one of the guys that you had to hoard all the toilet paper. That's why no one could get toilet paper.
No. Well, I like Tito's. I like my whiskeys.
yeah.
Those are the juice diets that I've taken up as far as being quarantined. But as far as the trails and everything, yeah, we definitely take this opportunity of walking around the block more than a few times, but kind of traveling through different parts of Connecticut and finding different trails I never even knew existed. And actually, I just did Beaverbrook Trail in Milford for the first time, and I've lived here 20 years.
It's really nice. Yeah,
I didn't even know it really existed. So in Solomon Woods is another one that I didn't even know existed, and we walked that. So it's a great experience.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Zeke.
I'm just going to say, I found out that Girl Scout cookies are its own food group. Definitely good for a good lunch. I went out for a ride the other day. I just went out and I drove around for an hour, the whole entire beach line, all through West Haven, up through Milford, and then back. And, it's just, you can see people out and, that's what, it's good to see, just people actually getting out to try to enjoy things while they have the time.
Yeah, and that's the reason I wanted to bring that up is that I know there's quite a few families that are kind of running out of things to do, So, Heisa, to your point, Beaverbrook, we did for the first time this year. I didn't know it existed. I've lived here my whole life. What is the other? Mondo Pond. Yeah, that's in that same area. We did that. That was super cool. And then we hit a couple places in Orange. I forgot the exact names, but the more difficult part on the trail is being able to still social distance yourself, because if you're walking down a tight trail, but we found a way. You back up into kind of the woods a little bit.
Through and whatnot. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And now we're walking through the woods like this, with a walking stick going through.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So.
Crazy. To Zeke's point about the cookies too. I can't believe the amount of baking that our oven has popped out over the last few weeks.
Man.
The quarantine 20 does nothing, compared to the 15.
Yeah.
We've all become a little bit better cooks. We've all been forced. So is it in 9 months from now we're gonna have a baby boom, or are we gonna have the highest divorce rate potentially in the history of the country? It could be one of the two or both. But it's a lot of crazy stuff. I want people in Milford to know. So Sarah and I went for a walk yesterday on in the area of the boardwalk, Silver Sands, Walnut, that area. And there are, as the weather warms up, there's going to be an influx of people, and it's hard to separate yourself. And we took a different path. So there's almost, you remember Dump Road?
Of course.
Dump Road.
Yeah.
So Dump Road.
Tried to hit that bump at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, of course.
All the old school Milford people, if you're listening, Dump Road, which is right behind where the boardwalk is still open and it's cleared, and it's a full walking path. And so that's where we went, and there was like nobody else there. So it's just something to, kind of throw out there. As we continue this, I think the more and more people need to share, hey, I find a cool spot to go for a walk with the family, or bring the dog, or bring the kids, or bring your date, whatever. We just got to help each other out with that.
Sure.
Julie posted a link to all the natural resources and things that are open in the Milford area. So there you go, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So remember that. You gotta remember that link.
SIDE.
That's an inside joke from a long time. So these three guys that you're seeing on screen right now, how long do you think we've known each other? 20 and change?
Yeah.
20.
Lifeguarding on the beaches. That was like 16 plus the 2 minus the 6.
Carry
in the block.
Carry the one.
The blocks of 10.
Now explain your math. How did you get to that answer?
I don't even know. I don't know how to explain that. I had that same question on my daughter's homework today. And I was like, I don't know. Just say you know it. You know, I don't know how you figure it out. You just know that 3 times 7 is 21.
Yeah.
The calculator told me.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time. I was going to say, another good thing about coming out of this quarantine is we got to watch ESPN The Ocho a few weeks ago. Because
that was awesome.
Rock skipping and what was one of the other like crazy ones? I mean, they have dodgeball and stuff, but I was thinking like, what would Milford be known for their like alternate sport that we could be on the map for? Because these places, ESPN The Ocho, they went to like Michigan, they went to like Iowa, like all these random like places to film these no-name sports. What would Milford be known for?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Canoeing? Oyster shucking?
Oyster shucking.
Oyster shucking.
We're the shuckers of the world.
Yeah. We should have a Milford Radio.
One mother shucker.
Milford Radio Olympics, where we have like rock skipping and wiffle ball playing and all that stuff in one day. That'd be cool.
We should do that. Yeah.
Super shuckers.
Megan said oyster shucking as well. The other way I want to use this platform, Milford Radio, whether it's in the comments or just people who are on the Facebook page or YouTube or wherever, is to be able to help in any way. So our email address is milfordradio@gmail.com. If anyone is struggling with getting food or need food delivered to their home, or we need to send Zeke out to go get them a Big Mac or something and deliver it, we can do that, or we can find the people to do that. So please either email the show or private message us on any of these social media outlets, and we will definitely give the help that we can, if we can and when we can.
Yeah, I'll buy Big Macs as long as it's 2 for $1. Yeah. Well,
and I could skip them along Milford Harbor across the way to like Fort Trumbull.
Yeah. The last thing, just really quick, I wanted to mention, and we'll bounce because we're running out of things to talk about. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but I don't want to be Debbie Downer with COVID all the time. Is the need for haircuts? Like I'm dumb enough that I cut my own hair. Heiza, you got a fresh new cut there, I could tell. Zeke, you actually look trimmed up. Did you take care of that?
The top, if you can see, the top's getting a little long there, but hair gel does a lot when you push it down,
This is the first time I had gel in my hair in probably 5 weeks. No joke. But what I was going to say is like my children's hair is Gavin. He's, I don't know, maybe 5'2", 5'3" now. He's close to 6 foot if you include his hair. Because he's got hair like me. Like if I grow my hair grows up. Gavin, we just learned through this situation that his hair is afro, like just like Dad. Krista Casado says hello.
Hey, Ms. Casado, WTNH.
We haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey.
I think she's back in Connecticut, right?
I think so. I don't know.
You gotta buy stock in LA Looks, all this gel going out there.
LA Looks.
I don't need it. I'm good. But
yeah, it's looking nice and shiny.
Yeah.
One other thing that we're doing really quick for my boys, what they're doing is they send a joke of the day to my parents and my in-laws every day. We probably miss it every once in a while, but they do a video. What was today's? Because I filmed it. I can't think of it. They've had some good ones, but anyway, they at least they get on the video for 5 seconds. They tell a stupid joke. It's usually a dad joke, and then they send it out to all the grandparents. And I think that's a nice little give back, because we're not even thinking about the grandparents who aren't able to see the grandkids. As lucky as my grandparents, and I know you Heiza, with your family, are very close.
Yeah, we actually played charades on Saturday.
That's another great idea.
Oh, really? That's a good idea.
Yeah. The kids picked things out of a hat, and they had to act it out in front of the camera, and the grandparents had to guess. It was good because it also gave mom and dad a time to go sneak away to the other room and have some peace and quiet for 10 minutes.
Right.
We let the grandparents, take their attention away for a little bit of time anyway.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Look at this one. Deirdre Doyle. I like this idea. Can we have a female version of Milford Radio? Shelly, Sarah, and D. That I bet you would be 10 times more entertaining than this. But I've actually been asked a couple different times more recently as we're relaunching this, because now I'm super comfortable with this technology that we're using, and I love seeing your faces so big on my screen, Heisa and Zeke. Is to have other nights. So we could have. I've already talked to probably the biggest Milford band. You could probably guess who that is interested in doing some live music with us. So I'd like to have some local Milford bands come on and just play a song or talk about a song that they wrote about Milford. Watching that concert that just happened on Saturday or Sunday, whatever they did, One World was a store in the mall where they sold like gloves. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like a hippie store. It was a hippie store. But anyway, doing that, bringing the community together with some music from Milford people and that kind of stuff. So Rum Runners is definitely one of them. They're interested and they're going to be coming on the show. We've also talked to the Lone Gnome, and hopefully we can get
my man
Benny.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. So my point on that was we may have other nights that us three are not on the show, but under the Milford Radio kind of brand, we might have like a music night, or we might have a women's night, or we might have whatever. So we might expand this, and we may never see you again, and we might not ever care about that.
See you in 10 years.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to close out the show. Did you guys have anything else to add in there?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zeke.
I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend Sheila. She was listening and watching from Hong Kong. And my buddy Jason from New York City.
What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jason?
I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think Hong Kong's the winner so far for the furthest listener.
Yeah, it's either that or Devon.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we're gonna close out this show. I'm super excited to be back on Milford Radio. I had a blast. Thank you to everybody. I've been looking at the numbers. We've been between 50 and 100 people at any given time live. This will be posted on all of our social media outlets too, and we're going to keep track of those listens as well. So I'm just pumped, boys. Great seeing you guys.
Great seeing you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Soon we'll be able to be within 6 feet of each other.
Yeah, I know, right?
Last question. Who here is wearing pants? Raise your hand.
With so much drama in the CDC, it's kinda hard being BORED. But I, somehow, someway, keep coming up with random ass shit just to get me through the day. May I post a little something on IG and make a few friends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and my Xbox still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I just chill in the room till they say that it's gone, and I ain't sleeping till 6 in the morning. So what you trying to do? Shit, I got a pocket full of gloves and my homeboys do too. So put on your shoes, open the door. But what? We on lockdown though? Yeah, we staying in the house for this. Feet up, keys down while you motherfuckers bounce to this. We on quarantine, staying indoors. We ain't got shit to do. Lay back.
I don't like 2020, I don't lie.